This is Chilworth Manor, who are having open gardens. Hello, happy Sunday. It's the National Open Garden Scheme, which the chairwoman used to live here actually. And so this is quite an unusual place. It doesn't open very much. Every now and again it does like garden parties, and it does have a vineyard on site just over the other side of the house. So they're selling their wine. And the weather has been challenging, but the garden is beautiful. It has a pond, you might be able to see here with stepping stones through it, and some massive mature trees. And we are going to go and have a look at their borders as well, around the walled garden.
Welcome to another episode of Toby Stupid Vlog.
So this is the walled garden, which is stunning. And then up here there's some alpacas, obviously. And then beautiful lawns beyond the wisterias. There's the house. We've come about 2 kilometres around the corner. This is another vineyard. We didn't actually get into the Chilworth Manor vineyard because it wasn't open to the public today. This is Albury Vineyard, next to the Silent Pool distillery that you may have heard of. And they make gin, and we've just come to pick up some wine for our membership of this vineyard. We decided, so you might know that I've been I guess member's the wrong word, but a supporter of Three Choirs Vineyard in Gloucestershire for quite some time, sponsored a vine for years and years. They've stopped doing that, unfortunately, but then again, it's not actually that close to us. It was always an excuse to go to Gloucestershire, but who needs one? So we'll still go there when we're there, but we're now a member of this vineyard here in Surrey Hills, which means we can get a certain number of bottles of wine a year, and we get to come to some of their meals and tastings and things, and generally be very Surrey. So that is what we're doing here today. Hello, happy Monday. It's quite amazing when it's just rained but the sun comes out. It's going to be doing that a lot today. That's the next rainstorm, and that's the previous one. So I've just nipped out whilst I can because it's lovely and blue just for a moment. It's quite warm. Amelia didn't sleep very well last night, so nobody did. She's got a bit of a cold and she just coughs until she wakes herself up, which is not that much fun to be around. But then she gets up in the morning and she's absolutely fine, like nothing's happened. She's ready to go and we're completely knackered. Hey ho, say la parenting. I'm going to go for a quick walk and end up at M&S because I'm going to be making a vegetable chilli for Veggie Day tonight. We did have a very nice weekend. We did quite a lot though, so it was quite tiring even before the interrupted sleep, because we went to meet 2 different sets of people on Saturday. Crystal's friends from Mum and Baby Yoga all those many months ago, back before there was a pandemic. So we went out in queue, and then we went to see Katie and Iris in the afternoon. We always say Iris is Amelia's cousin-in-law because they share an uncle. Isn't that a weird thing to suggest? But anyway, yeah, that was nice. And then yesterday we dropped loads more stuff into storage and went to, you saw us at Chilworth Manor, which is beautiful and has a lovely vineyard, which we bought a bottle of their rosé. And then we went round to Albury, as I mentioned, and bought a couple of bottles of their wine. The interesting thing is the vineyards are they're probably less than 3 kilometres from one another. They're technically on the same rock, just one is lower down the hill than the other, and they grow the same grapes, although I don't know the exact clones that they use, but they're the same varietals, and they both make a rosé out of the same Pinot Meunier, Pinot Noir combination, but they look completely different in terms of colour, and I'm really curious they probably don't taste that similar, even though there's so much similarity. I've just come to my favourite piece of countryside hidden in the middle of suburbia, down a muddy lane between two houses, and then you turn left and go through the gate and you're in a field. I always think that's quite wonderful. Hello, good afternoon. I've come just south of Guildford to walk along the North Downs Way. I've just been to drop more stuff off at Yellow Box, and this is my reward. And hopefully I won't get a call to say Amelia's coming home from nursery because she's got a temperature. But right now, it's too soon to tell. Nearly at the top. Oh, it's a good solid climb, that. Luckily it's not too long. There's St Martha's. Whew. Oh, I need to do more exercise. Hills shouldn't be that difficult, especially when I'm not carrying anyone. The view's pretty special up here, and and at the bottom of the hill you can make out a few houses maybe. That is Chilworth, and the manor where we were at the weekend is where I'm going to come back past once I've descended this hill. This is all natural sand, by the way, which is particularly odd. All these hillsides are sand, which is obviously very good for drainage, which is one of the reasons why limestone and sand is where you tend to get vineyards. Anyway, it's too tiring to hold the camera and talk. It's really nice mixed woodland. Get a lot of pine going up on the sandy soils, and then on the lower slopes you've got a lot of deciduous, and then here on the really steep slopes there seems to be a lot of holly, which is slightly unusual. Proper English woodland, bit of everything. This to me is the closest thing you can get to Holy woodlands in the springtime. It's crazy. I could just live here on this path. That's what it feels like. Bird song, sort of life bursting from the ground. Absence of people, despite the fact we're just going past Albury Mill. Just some very nice converted houses now. It's beautiful. Well, this is where public rights of way become very weird. So, whilst I navigate the muddiest path I found today, you can see over here is a couple of beautiful houses. Now, right on this lovely pond, and perversely the public right of way runs straight down their driveway, through their garden, and then out the back, which is a bit of a weird one, isn't it? And basically everyone who goes down there looks confused and lost, because they haven't signposted it, because why would you, to a certain extent. So everyone just thinks, I must have taken a wrong turn, but you haven't. It's a lovely lake. It's just a bit bigger than the banks will allow at the moment. So this is a beautiful walk, really stunning. And the fields and trees, glorious at this time of year, and there's horses that greet you at every turn. But I've got to go home now because Amelia's got a temperature and she's been kicked out of nursery for the second time in 3 days. I'll be honest, like, this was always going to happen at some point. We've been really spoilt with how well she's done at nursery and how minor her colds have been. But even when it's very rare and few and far between instances, it's the impact it has on you in terms of your ability to actually do anything else. It's really dramatic, and that's not to say people don't do this obviously every day, but you know, one of the reasons you send a child to nursery beyond, you know, socialisation is that, like all education, its primary purpose is to free you up so that you can do your job. And you can't do your job when there's a very small person who very lovingly wants to play with you the whole time and, you know, wants 100% of your attention. So that'll be what I'm doing tomorrow, parenting, which is fine, but it does mean everything gets pushed a bit. So here are the vines for Chilworth Manor, where we were on Sunday. And these are a combination of the standard champagne grapes, Chardonnay, Pinot Noir and Pinot Meunier. And as you can see, it's a slightly sloping hillside, but not massively, and it's obviously very sandy, as I mentioned earlier, so the water does drain away. What you really want for vines is you want them to be stressed. Now, that sounds strange, but they need like the very minimum amount of water they can get away with, so that the grapes they make are tiny and sweet. You don't want big plump grapes, you want tiny sweet grapes with lots of residual sugars that you can convert into alcohol. But it's a beautiful vineyard. It's not massively big, as you can see, it's just this one field. And I don't know how much they produce a year, but enough for it to be a sort of fun business for them. I love seeing vineyards. It's kind of like my favourite form of agriculture, if you hadn't guessed. This is the driveway down from Chilworth Manor. It's beautiful, lined with rhododendrons. There's a lovely lake at the bottom. There's a hidden in those rhododendrons there, that is a World War II bunker, obviously. And there is a large party currently going into Chilworth Manor, I presume. I don't know what for. Picnic on the grounds, maybe? They're all of a retired age, let's say. And I'm a little bit jealous because I've got to go home and put up with a sick child, and they're going to get to sit in beautiful gardens in perfect weather, and probably drinking rosé. So, you know, it swings and roundabouts, isn't it? But at least I'm out in the sunshine at the moment. So I don't know if you can see St Martha's up there on the hill, and then these lower fields here where we saw llamas. Chilworth is literally just behind those trees there. There's the southern edge of Guildford. Guildford's on the right, really, beyond the hill, and then this is down towards Shamley Green, if you know that area at all, going towards the left. What a remarkable, beautiful walk, and springtime in England is hard to beat, although springtime anywhere in Europe is pretty special, to be honest. Anyway, I've got to go. Turn right, head to my car and get back and see how Amelia's doing. She's almost certainly absolutely fine, with no evidence of any illness whatsoever. Here we are. back to the start. So that is where we went up to begin, and this is where I'm parked.